You're listening to the Fast F1 Podcast. Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the Fast F1 Podcast with me, Danny Kane.
And I'm Eddie Meteye-O'Kane.
And today we are discussing the 2024 Australian Grand Prix. Eddie, what did you think of the race? Good race?
I loved it.
Yeah, you would like it.
I loved this one a lot.
Yeah. So, your boy Carlos Sainz wins the race.
Yes, right after he comes back with appendicitis, too. That is something incredibly impressive.
Yeah, it was very impressive.
No one would have ever expected that one.
Well, Ferraris have been definitely better this year. So
Yeah.
we'll start out with practice, though. In, what was it, second practice that Albon had his crash, or was it first practice?
I think it was the first practice that Albon had his crash, and then Sargeant had his crash in the second practice.
Did Sargeant have a crash? I think, he spun in second practice.
He spun in second practice.
Yeah. But Alex Albon crashed in the same place on the track he crashed last year, but this time in practice. And because Williams does not have a spare chassis with them,
For some reason.
well, I think probably due to money,
Oh, yeah.
it meant that Alex Albon was given Logan Sargeant's car because Albon's been performing better than Sargeant.
Yep.
So the American Sargeant sits out the rest of free practice 3 and sits out of qualifying in the race.
Okay, we get it. We're Americans. We're not good at the sport.
Well, I don't know if I'd say that, but Logan Sargeant obviously is not up at Alex Albon's level.
Yeah.
The rest of qualifying, though, was pretty exciting.
Yeah. Well, what do you think happened to you that was pretty exciting?
Well, I think that the Ferraris were looking like they had a real shot at taking pole.
That's true.
And Sainz in particular looked really good all through the weekend, practice, qualifying, and the race.
I'd say, I know I'm a gigantic Carlos Sainz fan, but I'd say it looked more like Charles Leclerc would get that pole position. He got first in practice 2 and 3.
Yep. But Sainz was on it as well. I think Sainz's fast lap in practice 3 was done with medium tires where everybody else used soft tires.
That's true. I did see
It
that.
looked pretty impressive. But all the same, Verstappen on pole yet again.
Yes. But he did not win.
He did not win. That's true. But what else happened in qualifying? Anything interesting?
Hamilton was eliminated in the second part of qualifying, and I think it was Yuki Tsunoda back up there.
Yep, back in the top 10.
For the second weekend in a row, I think it was.
I believe that's right, yeah.
So he's really showing a lot of talent, and he's definitely a choice for Red Bull, although I don't think he's going to get that seat. I really don't.
We'll see. I kind of have a feeling that Perez will stick around. I think he's been doing a good enough job. This week, the Red Bulls weren't on it as much as previous races, but otherwise I think Perez is doing everything that Red Bull is asking him to do.
Yeah.
But the RBs, on the other hand, Tsunoda is walking all over Ricciardo.
Yeah, and it could look like Ricciardo could retire by the end of the season.
Well, and maybe not by choice either. He might not be asked to return. The other part of qualifying was Sainz did start on the front row.
That's true.
Perez
second.
Perez qualified third, but ended up starting in 6th due to a grid penalty for impeding Nico Hülkenberg in the first part of qualifying.
Yes.
So then the start, Verstappen with an early lead. Everybody got away pretty clean.
Yeah, it was a very good start to the race. There were no crashes, unlike not practice 2, Formula 3 and Formula 2, especially Formula 2 with a gigantic crash right at the beginning of the sprint race that happened almost immediately to the eye.
I know that was they hadn't even cleared the pit lane yet, and they were already running into each other.
I don't know how that happened so fast. I've never seen that before, but
yeah. But only 2 laps into the Grand Prix, and Sainz was right on top of Verstappen.
And then he got past him.
Did that make you happy?
Yes, let's go. But then something happened to Verstappen, and his brakes stopped working.
Yep. So about 3 or 4 on the 4th lap, started seeing a little bit of smoke coming out of the back end of the Red Bull.
Yep.
And I think most people thought he had an engine problem, but it turned out to be the right rear brake was overheating and pretty much melted itself.
And then we actually got to see exactly when that was happening as soon as it exploded in the pit lane.
Yeah, the tire exploded because the then overheated
You
from
never
the fire.
see that one.
Yeah. And the other retirement, it was Hamilton. The other big name retirement, and it was Hamilton.
Definitely. It's like the 2021 contenders.
Yeah, and at a time when the cars are so reliable, hardly ever see any retirements. The two guys that have the least retirements both went out in the same race with mechanical problems.
But then again, it did not look good at all this weekend for Mercedes. I did not think they were even going to finish in the points this time, actually. And
they didn't.
And they didn't. I'm surprised how I was right, actually. I thought one would get, like, 9th and one would get, like, 14th or something. But Russell, near the end, had a big shunt and had his car, like, at a 45-degree angle by the end of it.
Yeah, a tire was stuck underneath it.
He did another Albon.
Yeah, so Russell struggling. Well, he wasn't struggling. He was trying to get past Alonso at the end of the race. And had fresher tires, had better pace than Alonso, and then Alonso slowed up going into one of the higher speed corners, and Russell lost the air under the car and lost grip, and into the wall he went.
And because of that, Fernando Alonso, we found out, got a penalty for that. So
yeah, it seems a bit of an odd penalty.
Yeah,
I don't know if I agree with
does.
it or not, because if you're the car in front, it's the other car's responsibility to get by you safely. But at the same time, Alonso knew what he was doing. He was intentionally trying to slow up so that through the high-speed corner so that Russell would lose grip and go off track.
But
maybe not crash necessarily, but at least lose grip, and that he'd be able to kind of scoot away at that point.
And then because there was only like 2 laps left of the race, he'd be able to pick up those points.
Right.
Because otherwise it would be George Russell passing him at turn 9, I think it was.
Yeah, but instead Russell crashed. Mercedes gets no points. Alonso got a 20-second penalty, which dropped him 2 places.
And because of this, Aston Martin somehow is ahead of Mercedes in the championship.
Yeah, Mercedes down in 5th in the championship right now.
And then
but only 3 races in, and I think Hamilton has now retired from 2 out of those 3 races.
That's...
Didn't he retire from the first race?
No, I don't think he did.
He didn't?
No. No one did.
You're right, no one did.
No one did, Dad.
I don't know what I'm thinking of. Well, anyway... Meanwhile, Sainz out front led pretty much the entire race once he got by Verstappen.
Yeah, well, actually, no, he did lead the entire race once he got by Verstappen, actually. Because even when he had just enough time to stay ahead.
Yep. And his Ferrari teammate, Leclerc, finishing 2nd, and then followed by Norris and Piastri in the McLarens.
So it just happened to be Sainz's teammate, Sainz's best friend.
Yeah, so... Your favorite driver and my favorite team, on the podium.
Yeah.
Ferrari and McLaren are up there.
And because of this, Ferrari's drivers and Red Bull's drivers are nearly tied in the championship for the top 4 points. I was looking at it, and I think from Sainz, who's in 4th, and Verstappen, who's in 1st, they're only separated by 11 points.
Yeah, it's very close to the top.
It really is.
It won't be for long.
I know. We already know what Verstappen's going to do.
Verstappen, I think, still has this season easily in hand.
Yeah, of course.
So we'll move on to our predictions from last week. Your predictions for the race, Eddie, what was your top 3?
Well, I think we both failed, but I said Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez.
Yes, you did. And how'd you do with Verstappen?
I don't think... you can't call me out on that one. I don't think either of us did too well on that one.
No, because I said Verstappen, Perez, Leclerc. So you actually got Leclerc right, because Leclerc finished 2nd.
And because of that, I have won the first one of those. So I'm very happy about that.
And Perez was finished in 5th.
Yes.
So I was off by 1 with Leclerc, off by a couple with Perez, and Verstappen obviously didn't finish.
So I'm the leading corrections.
So Japan is next.
Yes. 10 years ago at the same Grand Prix was actually the last death in F1, Jules Bianchi, if you remember.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, he died, I think, about 6 months later, but it was
at the same Grand Prix. And then also happy birthday to Alex Albon. So.
Oh, yeah, it was Alex Albon's birthday this weekend.
And
so what are your predictions for Japan?
Well, my predictions for Japan, I still think it's going to be another Max Verstappen victory, but I don't know why I feel like he's going to get second. I'm going to say Leclerc, Verstappen, Perez. I don't know why. It's just I've got this nagging feeling that Verstappen's not going to get first.
So you're going to say Leclerc and then Verstappen and then Perez?
Yes.
And I think that Verstappen is going to just absolutely trounce this race. I think he's going to be ahead by a long way. Yeah.
Like 30 seconds?
I think he's going to be angry about not having tied his own record of 10 wins in a row.
That's true.
And I think he'll be back with a vengeance, and I think he'll crush this one.
But
I'm thinking it's going to be Verstappen, Perez, and I'm going to say Sainz in third.
Nice. But don't forget, Dad, that 43 races without retirements, that is absolutely insane for Verstappen.
Yeah, that's a really, really long record.
That went on from sometime in 2022 until now. That's amazing.
The last race that he retired from was the Australian Grand Prix in 2022.
Which is crazy.
Yep. All right. Well, this has been our review of the Australian Grand Prix from 2024. Thanks for listening, everyone. This is the Fast F1 podcast with me, Danny Kane.
And I'm Eddie Meteye-O'Kane.
We'll see you after the 2024 Japanese Grand Prix.
Bye.
Fast F1 is produced by Danny Kane